good evening. We are so happy and delighted to be with you tonight. I'm Josh. This is my lovely, beautiful bride, Ashley, and we're your hosts for this evening. And we're just going to have a super great time tonight, and we're so excited to have you join us. And we're going to have guests tonight that you are going to be so excited to see. This is their first appearance ever to appear on the show with us and on this station, and so we're super excited to have them.
Yeah, and
as
you know,
our
these
guests.
people are kind of cut from the same cloth that we are.
Most definitely.
And so this is going to be a fun program tonight.
Yes, it is, and we're going to have a good time. But I'll tell you what, before we get started tonight, you know we love to sing, so we might as well sing one before we move on with the program tonight. Here's a little song that just really speaks of where we're going. Thankful for the promises of God that we're soon to go home, amen? Yeah. On my way to Canaan land, I'm guided by the Master's hand. For mountains high and valleys low, I'll never walk one step alone. He promised me he'd never leave me. He said that he would be my friend. He said he'd go and be preparing a place for me to live with him. He's kept me safe from Satan's snare. He bore my burdens and my cares. I'll walk by faith in him alone until I see the lights of home. He promised me he'd never leave me. He said that he would be my friend. He said he'd go and be preparing a place for me to live with him. Standing on the promises, standing on the promises, standing on the promises of Christ, my Savior. Standing on the promises, standing on the promises, standing on the promises of God. He promised me he'd never leave me. He said that he would be my friend. He said he'd go and be preparing a place for me to live with him. He said he'd go and be preparing a place for me to live with him, to live with him. And we're so happy to have you back. Ashley, it is a thrill today to welcome our guests with us. And these two people are very dear and near to our hearts because they do very similar to what we do when we're on the road traveling, ministering, husband-wife team, and singing and preaching. And boy, did they ever do a phenomenal job.
They do. And this preacher here, you never know what's going to happen or come out of his mouth. So.
You never know. I'm telling you.
It should
But
be
we're
interesting.
so happy to welcome Randy and Mary Perry. We're certainly glad to have you.
Good to be here today.
So very much. We're just thrilled to have you. And I got to tell you this is the truth. When I was growing up, one of my favorite groups was God's Little People.
I'm getting old.
The Perrys.
When I was growing up.
I loved the Perrys. I still do.
I still do.
But there was something magical about God's Little People.
Yeah, you know, that was an era of time to where singing loud, high, and hard was very popular. The big bands were popular.
Yes.
And we had all of that, you know. And
one of my favorite recordings you ever did was recorded live in Bessemer, Alabama.
Oh, yeah. That's
you remember that night?
Oh, I remember it.
Yeah.
Remember it
the
well.
Wilburns recorded a live recording that night.
They recorded with us. That was ours was called Little Thunder.
Right.
Theirs was called Lightning.
And Alabama Lightning. And one reason was that because there was a storm, wasn't there?
Was.
That came through that night.
Bad storm. And matter of fact, knocked the power off and delayed us getting the recording started. They got the power back on, so the record company, they were all, we're going to include this. And they did.
And that was 1990.
That was probably 91 or 2.
Yeah.
somewhere around in there.
Wow. Now,
How old were you?
How old was I?
Yeah.
I was 6.
6?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
How's that make you feel?
It's wonderful. It's all good.
It's all good.
Yeah.
It's all good. And now, you sang with the Perrys from, you started.
From the time we started. I started when I was 8. My older sister was 11. Libby was 6.
Wow.
And I sang there 26 years.
26 years.
Yeah.
And then you felt the call to leave the road
Yeah.
from singing because you felt the call of evangelism and preaching.
That was the hardest, probably, decision I ever made in my life.
I'm sure.
For about 2 years, I knew God was calling me to preach. And, of course, everybody said I was preaching long before I was.
Well, sure.
I fought it and ran pretty hard, and cost me dearly. But I finally surrendered, and, hardest day of my life that I can remember at that time was getting my suits off of that bus.
Wow.
And throwing them in an old Ford pickup truck.
And going home.
Old pickup truck had 186,000 miles on it.
Wow.
I'd pull into a gas station and I'd fill up with oil and just check the gas. And
Now,
so that was so different.
Did you have services already scheduled when you left the group at that time?
I didn't have anything scheduled.
You just knew you had to go.
I knew I had to go. I told my mom, my dad, I said, this is what God's called me to do. I told my family. And I said, if I don't do it, He's going to kill me.
How about that?
And don't amazing things happen when you get in the center of God's will.
That's right.
Even if it doesn't make sense.
I went about 6 months, stayed at home, and my dad, he was just livid, because he'd spent a lot of money investing in that group.
Sure.
And he said, are you sure this is God? And so I spent a lot of time searching for God.
Sure.
And then one day, all of a sudden, my mom, where I was living at, I didn't even have a phone at that time. And my mom come by and she said, why don't you come by here and get these messages? And I gave everybody or anybody that'd be interested my mom and dad's phone number.
Wow.
How about that?
And I said, what do you mean? She said, there's 4 people that's called wanting to book you for dates. I went to my mom's house. I didn't know any of them.
Wow.
And so, singing 26 years, you'd think your first dates would come from the singing side. Mm-hmm. Somebody just had told somebody.
As you know, it's a different world.
Oh, totally.
The evangelism field and the gospel music field is totally different. And oftentimes we sing in front of the same crowd.
Yeah,
but for the majority, it's a totally different crowd of people.
Yeah.
Because when you go into a church to hold a revival meeting or crusade, camp meeting, whatever it is, that's not your typical Southern gospel singing crowd.
No, it's
those people are there because they're hungry for the word.
That's right.
And they want to hear the preaching.
That was a shock to me when I first started. It was, I'd go into places, to me, everybody should have known who the cathedrals were.
Right.
Gold City.
Sure.
People like that. And I'd go to places and they'd say, now, who are you?
Yeah.
And I began to try to tell them the history of the Perrys, in Southern gospel music. Most of them never heard it.
That's unbelievable.
And so it was my whole life was turned upside down because, the last 2 years I was with a quartet, I was nominated in the top 5 lead singers of gospel music in Southern gospel music. So you got a few accolades along the way and a few pats on the back.
Sure.
Man, when I went to preaching, you get nominated. The only thing you get nominated for is would you leave or a hush.
Yes.
We know all about what you're talking about.
It's just one of those deals.
But look where the Lord's brought you to.
Always blessed.
And how many years now you been on the road in the evangelism field?
Starting January 1st, I'll start 26 years.
That's unbelievable.
And it's just been unbelievable. 47 to 48 weeks a year. Full time on the road preaching.
And you travel all over. I noticed the other day you on your schedule you had been up Maryland or somewhere up in there, and so y'all down in Florida. Of course, you found a treasure in Florida.
I found a nugget.
He sure did.
A golden
He's
nugget.
a Florida Gator. I'm not.
Florida Gator and a Georgia Bulldog.
Boy, you ought to be around when they play ball. That's a story in itself there.
Yeah.
She does the chomp, and I let the dogs out.
Yeah, I guarantee. All right, Mary. So tell us how did Randy and Mary come together?
She hated me.
I did not.
I said, I asked Mary now. Wait, I
hate's a
want to hear
strong word.
her side of the
Yeah,
story.
hate is a
Hate-
strong word. I
yeah,
did not.
it
I
was-
didn't even know him to hate him. I didn't like him.
She loved you, but she didn't like you.
She didn't love me either at the time, actually, I can tell you.
I'm from a old-time Church of God in South Florida, and he come in and
Very
helped.
conservative. I mean, they still wore their hair in those beehive
did.
hair.
Oh, boy.
They did.
The higher the hair, the closer they thought
Oh,
they
yeah,
were.
right.
man. You can tell if they was filled with the Holy Ghost if they put her up there a foot. Man,
That's it,
that was it. See, I come out of the Southern Baptist.
Southern Baptist and Church of God
Church of God.
Pentecostal.
Very conservative.
So now we're not only Georgia Bulldogs and Florida Gators, now we got a Baptist and
That's
Pentecostal.
right. That's right.
And then they invited me to her church, and when they found out that I was Baptist, she had been raised that the Baptists didn't have it.
Oh, boy.
You know. And so that was a strike against me right off the bat.
So here you go into their church.
Oh, yeah.
And what happens?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, tell her.
Well, he
What
can tell
happens?
a whole lot better, but I had most of my church was elderly people,
Right.
and he come in and he spoke to everybody, everywhere except me, and I thought, wow,
She noticed that.
yeah, I did.
Well-
I mean, you kind of do, but
I was praying to stay single. You know, I really was. And so anybody remotely close to my age, I sort of put over there on the island. And all those little ladies, especially those good ones that
yes.
I knew could
Yes.
cook.
Yes.
Man,
yes.
I loved on them.
Yes.
I want to go home with them.
yes, you did.
So you didn't recognize her.
I didn't recognize her. I didn't have anything to do with her.
Well,
But
I
she
didn't-
recognized you, didn't shake her hand.
Yeah.
I didn't want a marriage proposal. I just wanted a
Acknowledge.
hello,
Oh,
you know.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Hey, well,
So you preached that night.
I was in there for revival. And so I preached, and she came, her and her mother came every night. I remember that. And they were faithful, and when she given the offerings, you know, and I'm real reminded of that now.
Oh,
You know,
yes,
I
yes.
gave them offerings
yes,
to you, even
yes.
though I didn't
Faithfully.
like you.
Faithfully.
I gave. And so, but, you know, it's one of those deals to where we had a mutual friend in the church, and one night after church, they were going to Pizza Hut, and they looked around, they said, "Where's Mary?"
Oh, boy.
And one of their daughters said, well, she went home because she said if he went, she didn't want to be anywhere around where he was at.
I did.
And so I thought,
What did you think about his preaching?
Well, now he could preach.
Oh, could he ever
yeah,
preach?
He could, and he still can.
Yeah.
God's anointed him. I
He
can't.
shook
I
that
can't
cord.
down him for that. So.
All right, off that
Yeah.
cob.
So what I want to
Yeah.
know is, how did the tables turn? How did we get from, I don't want to be anywhere around you, to sitting right here today?
well, when that little girl told me that she didn't want to go because of me, I looked at them, I said, what have I done? And they said, you won't speak to her.
It should have been, what did I not done?
Yeah, well.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I said, where's she live at? And so they told me where she lived, and that little girl said, I'll go with you. And so I went just to apologize that if I had offended her in any kind of way. And her mama was getting out of the car when we pulled up,
Wow.
trying to get in the house. She didn't even look.
You going on in the house.
Going on in the
She's trying to
house.
get in the house. The key,
Not
it was the funniest thing. She was doing them keys like that. Hey, man, she couldn't get the door open. And finally, her mother walked over there to the car, and I let that window down, you know, and she said, can I help you? And I said, hey, I said, the church is gone to Pizza Hut. The whole church is gone. I said, they said Mary wouldn't go because she didn't care for me. And so Mary finally, she still couldn't get that door open. No. That's her own house and
Oh,
can't get the door open.
That must have been the Lord.
That was
That's
the
a
Lord.
God thing.
Yeah.
She's trying, God
Must
trying
have.
to. Yeah. And so she walks over to the car and she said, "No, it has nothing to do with you." She said, "I really don't like pizza." And her mama looked at her and she said, "You're lying, Mary Lynn, bro." And
She did.
Leave it to Mama.
So she got in the car and went on with me.
How about that?
And but when we got to Pizza Hut, I mean, here's 25, 30 people sitting in Pizza Hut.
She's sitting on the other end of the table.
She went to the other end.
On purpose.
On
On
purpose.
purpose.
Because she didn't want to be around you.
I'm thinking to myself, what kind of girl is this?
Well, get to the good part.
So the good part is...
Good part is she chased me down the parking lot and asked me to marry her.
And
about
you
8
gave
months
in.
after.
That's what I'm talking
That's
about.
a good
You know,
part.
Josh
I know
tells a
that
similar
feeling.
story about us. It's not true at
Oh,
all.
I know
Yeah.
that feeling very well. That's wonderful. So how long y'all been married now?
21 years.
21 years.
21 years.
Wow.
Who would ever thought 21 years ago we'd be sitting here today?
Oh, boy, I wouldn't have. But it's been, it's a God thing.
Sure.
It is.
Now, how many days you're on the road? 46, 47, 48 weeks out of the year.
Yeah.
And you pretty much live, as I know, in your bus.
We do.
And you have a home here in the state of
We
Georgia.
do. I live in Georgia.
But
I'm about
you don't
an
get
hour
there
north of here.
very often.
No.
And so now you're evangelizing, but now you not only are preaching, now you have a helpmate, and she sings with you, and both of you are singing, and the Lord just blessed you.
Yeah.
He has blessed us, and we're thrilled to be a part. I travel first. The first 5 years I traveled by myself. That's no fun.
It's no fun.
And living out of a suitcase. Back then, you used to stay with people in their homes,
Sure.
And that was a trip.
Oh, have I have a few stories and you do
and
too.
hear things.
Yes, yes.
And,
but the Lord's brought you two together, and somebody may be watching.
Yeah.
That may be in similar situations that y'all have been in, or you feel like that there's nobody there for
That's
you,
right.
and you never know what God's going to do, but it's just
right.
proof of what God can do.
That's right.
And if you'll listen, you listen. You left the road from the quartet, and you begin to travel.
Yeah.
How many souls have you seen saved? Do you have any idea whatsoever?
Well, this past year we had 305,
Wow.
306 people saved.
That's
this
incredible.
past year,
1 year alone.
1 year.
That's incredible.
I've never really kept a total over those 20-something years, but and I didn't even. 2-3 years ago, somebody asked me that, and I thought maybe I should
Sure.
keep up with it,
Sure.
And so we've been blessed.
That's wonderful.
We're
The Lord knows however many of those
He
have been.
knows.
He knows. Thank God
it's
He
sort of
knows.
like that song old Rodney Griffin wrote. One day when we stand before Him,
Sure.
He'll show us the faces
Absolutely.
of what our life produced for Him in
Absolutely.
service. It comes with a cost. You know
Absolutely.
that
Yes.
as well as anybody.
Yes.
I've watched my daughter grow up in pictures, watched my grandbabies grow up in pictures. We spend a lot of time away from home, but the reward,
It's great.
it's worth the sacrifice that you have to put forth.
Hey, why don't y'all sing for us?
Hey, well,
Can we do
love
that?
to.
Yeah.
Can we do that?
Sure.
Let's let them sing, and they're going to get ready to sing. We're so glad as they make their way over. We're so glad that they're joining us here today, Randy and Mary Perry, and we're going to let them sing for us and share. There's a song that they're going to sing, His Burden Light.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite
Oh,
songs.
I love to hear them sing, and I love this song as well. And if you want to have them in your church, they have a website, randyperryministries.com, randyperryministries.com, and you can visit them, find more information about them there, and I know that they would be a blessing to you. There's no doubt about that. So I'll tell you what, let's just go right over to the singing stage,
right.
if you will, and let's let them sing. Welcome, Randy and Mary Perry.
His burden's light and His yoke is easy. His way is straight, His love is strong. I love to worship and adore Him and sing His praises all day long. His burden's light, His yoke is easy, His way is straight, His love is strong. I love to worship and adore Him and sing His praises all day long. Glory, hallelujah, to the risen Lamb of God, and His name is high above all others, and will forever live on and on. When that day comes and we cross old Jordan I'm gonna join the angels round the throne, and we will worship and adore him and sing his praises all day long. Well, we're singing glory, hallelujah, to the risen Lamb of God. And his name is high above all others, and will forever live on and on. Glory, hallelujah, to the risen Lamb of God. And his name is high above all others, and will forever live on and on. His name is high above all others, and will forever live on and on. His word is alive. His word is alive. Yeah.
What a great song. It's just been a joy today to have Randy and Mary with us. And
Well, thank you for
love
having
that
We've enjoyed
song
it.
that you just sang. And
appreciate
boy, that'll preach a sermon right there.
That'll preach a sermon.
I'm sure
It
you-
is about a sermon.
I think say I'm sure you've preached it a time or two.
I have, actually.
Hey, very quickly, tell us what's going on this coming year. What's going to be happening? I know you got a new recording.
We got a brand new
Fixing to come
recording
out.
called "Let's Have Church,"
Oh boy,
I already like it.
and
Yeah.
it's a mixture of some new songs, but we went back and brought some of those old convention
Yes.
songs back.
people love them, don't they?
They love them.
Oldies but
and,
goodies.
I'll tell you, I say this all the time. We don't sing old songs because they're old.
Oh no.
We sing them because they're good.
Good.
Well, it's part
right.
of my heritage
Absolutely,
too. I mean,
absolutely.
that's the.
You got any old Perry songs on there?
I do not have an old Perry song. You know, it's a crazy thing, you know, when Libby and them still sing.
Sure.
Of course, the Perrys continue on, but you sort of have that. I don't know what it is. When I stepped away from the group, only one song I've sang when I left the quartet,
Royal Descendant.
Royal Descendant.
How did I know?
That's a good one,
And,
too.
and
What a
so
song.
you just don't do each other's songs.
Sure.
Of course, you know how it is. Y'all are a duet.
Sure.
We're a duet. A lot of the quartet songs, you're limited and can't do.
That's correct. That's
So-
correct. And there's a song where you don't have time to sing it today.
Yeah.
But there's a song that I love to hear you share and sing, "The Bible and the Bell."
Oh my goodness.
And boy, does that get a lot of requests?
It gets a lot of requests.
I'm
It
sure.
also gets a lot of controversy. But,
Yes, it does.
You know, that's we've got emails and letters that Rory, Feek wrote that.
Yes,
And,
yes.
and so Tracy, my brother-in-law, sent it to me. And he said, you got to sing this. He said, because this is the way we were raised.
Yes,
talking about
absolutely.
having a Bible in the home, but if a Bible couldn't straighten it out, Dad had a belt that could.
Absolutely. The
And,
Bible and the Bell.
Well, that's
But
the
you
way it
know,
worked at my house anyway.
It's the way it worked
Sure.
in mine, but today's society, people do things a little different, and they'll voice their opinion if you even remind them of how
I'm
it was
sure of
done
that.
back there in the day.
I'm sure of that. And hey, listen, we're going to have you guys come back again. at
Hey,
some
we'd
point
love
in
to.
time.
Thank you for having
and,
us.
And maybe you can sing that for us. I'd like to
Hey,
hear
we'll
it. all
do
right?
that.
Well, I'd like to hear that.
We'll do
and
that.
I'm sure these
And,
people
hey,
would like to hear
if
it.
we do that, everybody address all of your complaints.
That's right. We
to
don't want
Joshua.
I'll take it, all right? I'll take it. Hey, but I'll tell you what, let's let you sing one more before
right,
we
man, I
get
appreciate
out
it.
of here today, all right?
Thank you for
and
having us.
we've just been so thrilled to have Randy and Mary with us today, and it's just been a joy to have them.
It has.
They're going to get ready, and they're going to sing one more song before we leave today. Listen, again, you want more information, you go online, you find them at randyperryministries.com, or you can go to our website, Josh and Ashley Franks, and you can go there, and we'll get you in that right direction. If you want want to speak more to Randy and Mary Perry. Hasn't it been a great day?
This has been the most fun I've had in a while.
I'm telling you, and they're just wonderful people.
Just good.
And I'm so glad that they were able to fit in their schedule, because I know how busy they are.
Yes.
So I'm so glad they fit into their schedule to be with us here on the program this evening. And I pray they were a blessing to you, and I know that they were. So one more time, before we leave, welcome our friends Randy and Mary Perry. God bless you.
Someone tried to tell me that healings were no more. They just weren't familiar with the promise in the word. But when it came time to test it, that same word made me whole. 'Cause whatever God says goes.
Whatever God says goes. He has the final word.
No matter what the circumstance, no matter what you've heard, if you need a final answer, just ask someone who knows. 'Cause whatever God says goes. If you need to get some victory, if you somehow gone astray, if you got to have an answer, you can't wait another day. God said he'll give direction and he'll defeat your foe. And whatever God says goes.
Whatever God says goes. He has the final word.